Big interview listeners, we're with a striking legend today because Roy Makaay was world class without any question whatsoever. He did extraordinary things throughout his career, including at Vitesse and Feyenoord. Probably the things we'll concentrate on most today would be his time winning the title at Deportivo La Coruña in a cup-winning side in the Centenario game at the Bernabeu, his brilliance for Bayern Munich, doubles everywhere. But irrespective of which club you played for, Mr. Roy Makaay, for us, for the three of us, and I bet for our listeners too, you embodied something about an era when there wasn't internet coverage of football all the time. There wasn't television coverage of football all the time. So for certain people in certain countries, all you were was a name, because it's not like now with blanket coverage. And I remember first seeing your name in World Soccer, and it was Tenerife, maybe playing Real Madrid, and it was Makaay 1, and then Makaay 3. And I thought to myself, I must follow this guy. Do you remember that era when maybe you were already a super professional and famous, but the era before blanket coverage of television, people didn't know how you played and what you stood for. That's an era that you emerged in. Do you think that affects how well known you are now? That
No, I don't know. I mean, I never played the game to be famous. It was like a hobby who became my job. I mean, and I think it's most important is that you enjoy your job. And of course, if as a player or as a coach, of course you have bad days. But I mean, my job was doing what I like, playing football. And in a young age, some people thought I could do it quite well, scoring goals. And so I made up my career. I mean, like you said, in that time you just had the broadcast in Holland, of course, maybe away. Then in European game, because I remember my European game with Vitesse was Norwich City away. I didn't play the game, but I was on the bench. And then there's a little bit more. And if you compare it nowadays, I mean, we have podcasts, we have YouTube where you can see so many clips. And at that time, I remember the only thing was on Sunday evening in Dutch television, you had like the highlights from the Spanish division, of course. We had German television. There were also every Saturday 6 o'clock. You had all the highlights from the Bundesliga. Yeah, now I mean in Holland they broadcast almost all the league. I mean it changes to where. I mean then it's in this channel. Then they lose the rights and it goes to the next channel. But you can follow every league nowadays because people like football not only in the stadiums. Because I think it's always the best to see the matches live in the stadium. But you don't have to miss anything anymore. And in my period when I started,
you had to be a detective to find out how does Roy Makaay play, which foot is his better foot, why does he stand out. You had to. When I was reading about you, first of all, I just had to imagine, and of course your name caught my attention because it sounds Scottish. Is there an easy way to explain why a Dutchman is called Makaay?
I know I've seen once like a family book long time ago, and I think it started in Scotland with MCKA. And from there on, I think it
just gets altered a little bit.
I'm 100% Dutch, but far away, it's a little bit Scottish inside.
That might explain the brilliance at football.
A couple hundred years ago, probably. No, but I know. Because that's why sometimes, they write my name with a C in between as well. And I've said, no C.
Stop it.
Yeah.
When you grew up, where are you geographically? You're quite near the border of the Netherlands and Germany, is that right? It's not Nijmegen itself.
Yeah, I was born in Wijchen, a small village, not small. I mean, small. It was I think 25,000 inhabitants, so there's not that small. Next to Nijmegen, and then I think on the age of 8 or 10 we moved to Nijmegen. So, but it's close to the German border, it's like 20 minutes.
I ask you a little bit because in a previous interview we had Rainer Bonhoff, who's a legend of German football. He made the assist in the 74 final for Müller to beat the Netherlands. And he told us a crazy story. He said that he was Dutch. He was Dutch, and at that stage they weren't allowed to, they were a Dutch family in Germany, they weren't allowed to have a Dutch passport. And he only changed to be a German about 2 years before the World Cup final. And he said for them, living in that era, so close between the two borders, there were a few people who kind of might have been born on one side of the border, but had sympathies to the other side of the border. When you grew up, were you like 100% Dutch and Germany was just over there? Or were there any German influences?
No, not really. No, I mean just like everybody. I mean, you already noticed the rivalry between Holland and Germany because of course of the '74 final. When I was young, of course Holland beat Germany in the Euros '88.
That's what I was going to ask you about.
No, but I mean not. Of course, when you speak to your grandparents, that's different when they speak about Germany.
They speak about the war.
But that's I mean that's not. That's the sad part of the history, world history generally, that those things happen. But I mean, I felt the rivalry when you play each other, especially now I'm skipping many years, but when I played at Bayern and then when we had games against Germany, as the rivalry in the team, because you play your teammates, but that's nice.
Training games where you play against each other?
No, national. I mean, with the
games?
national team one. Of course, then on the Saturday, Oliver Kahn was my teammate, and then on Wednesday we played against each other. So then, the one who wins has a nice week when he comes back to Munich.
Oliver was a nice, quiet guy who didn't have a big personality.
I had a really good relationship with him.
Hell of a guy, Phil. Hell of a leader.
Amazing goalkeeper.
We come to Bayern. I'm interested in '88, the semi-final particularly, because there's been some brilliant football writing about it. And they've suggested that there was a massive national need, more than just two neighbours bumping into one another. It was held in home territory. The Germans had a history of winning. The Dutch at that stage had a history of nearly winning two World Cup finals, etc. And you must have been about the right age to soak up the tournament and the experience of the semi-final.
Yeah, I mean, I was born '75, so I was 13 at '88. So I lived it the way a young boy should live it. I mean, of course, I think the way the feeling was in Holland, especially after the semi-final. I mean, they didn't start the tournament really well. They lost against the Soviet Union at that time. Then I think they beat England, and then
spectacularly with the Van Basten.
Yeah, with three goals, and then I think against Ireland it looked like a draw. They were out, and then a shot from Koeman got deflected by Kieft and it went in, and that's why Holland passed on to the semi-finals, and then playing the favourites in Germany. I think also, of course, looking back at the '74 World Cup final, and then this time they beat them. So maybe Holland already felt that. I don't say it is, but maybe they felt this was maybe already our final in the tournament. Because I mean, the first game, the final was against Soviet Union again. But the first game, I mean, they lost, but they were the much better team. The Soviet Union had an amazing goalkeeper, Dazayev, and then in the final beat them. But I think the only thing in Holland, apart from winning, they speak about the goal from Van Basten in the final. But I think the win against Germany maybe was a little bit bigger.
Even bigger for the significance.
Yeah, but the whole country like exploded in that moment. We beat Germany in Germany. I mean, the last time they beat it was the World Cup final. So, I mean, and it's the only success so far we had. I mean, of course, we were in 3 World Cup finals, but unfortunately we lost all 3. But yeah, Holland was European champions in '88, and it's a big achievement.
I'm going to tug on a small thread here. Do you remember? Everybody remembers Van Basten's goal. Yeah. It was extraordinary. Maybe in training or in matches you scored better than that. No. Probably.
That's a once in a lifetime.
Who made the pass?
I know, Arnold Müller.
Didn't he play a role in your career? Wasn't Arnold Müller in?
No, I had Frans Thijssen, and he played with him at Ipswich Town.
Okay. And Thijssen, because Thijssen and Müller came, for our mentality, as a couple. When no foreign footballers came to Britain, and they came to Ipswich, and fucking hell, they played a different brand. They seemed to have more time and more space, and they seemed to be elegant, if that's a word that you accept.
No, but I mean, I had Frans Thijssen because when I went to Vitesse as a 16-year-old, he was playing in the first team, and he was coaching nowadays they call it the under-17s. So I had him for 4 years. He was my coach in the under-17s, and then later on, when I had to move up age category to under-19s, he was my coach as well. So I had him 4 years as a youth coach, and in the beginning, you trained during the week. We trained 2 times a week, and then we had a friendly game in the weekend because, in that time, like Vitesse was a foundation, they could only have 3 teams, so we were just playing friendly games. And then on Sunday, you watch your coach playing in the Dutch league, and of course you know the stories about the elegancy because he played like a centre back, but it was the way he played. But his technique was amazing. And that's what I remember. Every training we started with 15 minutes of technique drills, and he showed me. He gave the example himself. So that's the best way to learn. And then you see it in the game that he uses stuff you learn on training.
He was like you're better with words than me, but he was like a Rolls Royce, because whatever situation he was in, he had 2 or 3 solutions. Mm-hmm. It feels to me like he wasn't a giant man, but he was a reasonably big man, but his balance was super. So that the ball became not something he had to think about controlling. It was part of his body, and therefore he was looking and he was moving in ways that gave him space and then solutions. Am I doing any justice in terms of how to describe him? Is that
no? But I mean, I don't. Of course, I know the stories. What they achieved with Ipswich Town, him and Arnold Müller, I think.
Yeah, Müller came over at the same time.
No, they won the.
They won I think the UEFA Cup.
Yeah. So, but I just saw him as a player, end of his career, playing at Vitesse in the first team. Yeah, like I said, his technique was amazing. And I mean, if you have, and nowadays you can't imagine that your coach is still playing in the first team.
He taught you things?
Yeah. He really was into me getting that I could shoot with both feet.
Ah.
He said that's important for a striker.
Does that mean that before, when you were playing street football?
Oh no, I was always okay with my left foot as well, but he encouraged it in some, because I remember sometimes we had like a drill. He said only use your left foot today, or try to use your left foot, because I mean only your left foot is impossible, or just shooting drills just with your left foot. And in the beginning it's okay, and it's getting better and better and better, and then the end was, for me, it didn't matter left or right.
That's it.
Yeah,
Originally you were more right.
Yeah, because if I have to take penalties or free kicks, always with my right foot.
But at the end, in a finish, in a split-second finish?
I think all my best goals are with my left.
Well, if you go back and look, which we've done, some of the left-footed volleys,
not all of them, yeah.
They're glorious. Yeah. But not just for how clean the strike is or how powerful it is. Sometimes when you wanted to loft it, or when you were taking advantage of a quick situation, the thing I like as well, beyond the technique, is you didn't have to think about whether you could use your left. Recently I've spoken a lot to Fede Valverde, playing in the midfield for Madrid, and he's very right-footed. Yeah. And this season, there's been big publicity about Courtois and Ancelotti saying to him, score more goals. But in the 2 interviews...
And he's doing that.
He is doing that. But in the 2 interviews I've had, I asked him about, 3 of your last 5 goals have come left foot, but left foot top corner, and left foot like a penalty box striker, where he does this, then that, and finishes. And I asked him, and he said, well, I'm not as good on this, but now I don't, because my confidence is good, I don't think, so that gives me a split second more time, so I'm scoring more regularly.
I mean, he's a midfield. I think, in my opinion, for strikers, even more important. And you don't have to be like it's 50-50, but if defenders know that you only want to shoot with your right or with your left,
then they read your movement.
If you then twice go to your back foot, then they think, oh, and maybe then the third time you can shoot with your preferred foot, and that makes you more difficult to defend.
Does that much, not confusion, but does that much time in a defender having to think for a split second, does that give a good striker enough time to be more free in the penalty box?
Yeah, because I mean, the faster you shoot, the less time the goalkeeper has to react. So, but I mean, nowadays even more than in my time, you analyze everything. So of course, if the way I analyze centre backs, they will analyze the strike as well. So that if they know in this situation he always wants to go to his right foot and shoot. Yeah? Did
you analyze centre backs?
A little bit. In the meeting, I just looked.
You know, you can admit it now. They're not listening.
No, but I look and just at how do you say that? What they did in the pitch. If they were slow or that struggled with some movements. Not too many, because you want to try your own game, and it's more like the connection I had with my teammates. Yeah. But of course because if you know for one, he has problems when you run on this side in his back.
Then you do that.
Of course.
But how did you then?
Because you always analyze the strengths and the weaknesses of a team. But of course, if as a centre forward, you always play at least against 2 centre backs, sometimes against 3. Of course, you want to know details, because when I remember when I came back to Holland. After Munich. So then the goalkeeper goes to find it. He always gave me some tips about goalkeeper. This one runs out very fast. As if you touch it, it will hurt. But then, but that's small details. Can always help. And in the game, you don't think, what did he say about the goalkeeper? But
it's in there. It's buried in there somewhere. Yeah. How did you actually do that, Sadine? Because now, as coaches, you've got too much information, and you have to plan what to use. Yeah. Back then, Did you watch television to watch a striker? Did people give you videos? In the little bits of studying you did do, how did you do it?
No, not really. I just try to develop my own game, of course.
But
getting your strengths better, but also your weaknesses. Like I said, your left foot in the beginning, and then.
But I mean, studying the centre backs. I mean, what was that? Because
no, but it was just because in that also in that time we already had analysis of an opponent, not as much as we have it now, because with all the development, innovation through the years.
You had video technology to study.
No, we had like the normal video clips. I mean, when I played with Bayern, I mean, like in Spain, we never with Bayern the home, like let me say the league games, we didn't watch the opponent. I mean, we got some information from the coach. This is the way they play. This is the way they defend. But when we went to Europe, the Champions League, then we got some clips. I mean, but I think we speak now about, was it 15 years ago? So now it's innovation. I mean, I think if we had the technology we have now, maybe we could have done better, or you never know.
Fuck me,
yeah, but it's always difficult to say. I mean,
you'd have had 600 goals.
No, I don't know. No, but I mean, that was our time. This is the time now. So
I get you.
I mean, it's a thing. It's not only in soccer. I think in every sport and every company, just things develop.
But you have to be careful how you use it. Otherwise, you can give your pupils, the
sometimes
players,
you can give
too
much information.
For sure.
And no, but it's different because some players they want want just a little bit of information, and some want a lot. So it's also individual.
You have to listen to their needs.
Yeah.
Okay. So, why were you the Phantom?
Because I think that was in Germany when with Bild. So I think you know the paper as well.
I do know Bild.
Everybody knows Bild. No, but I think because I scored a couple of times. I think 3 or 4 games in a row. I scored a goal in the injury time of the game, and that's why they gave the name. And then in the end, it could go both ways. Because sometimes, I mean, I think I played a game for myself. I knew myself if I played well or I played bad. Yeah. And sometimes I played a good game, I didn't score, and then they say, the Phantom, we didn't see him. So, but I know how press works. So, don't worry. When I played, the only thing I cared was what my teammates and what the club thought about me than what the press thought about me.
But also, like you said, you knew when you'd had a good game.
Yeah.
And
I know it. I think I know if I played bad or wrong, and so sometimes, of course, you can have a different opinion with the coach. But I think if you know it from yourself, then I think you're not that far away from the opinion from the coach.
Given that you were a very, very, very good striker, how many times could you play a game, not score, but come away happy?
No, but for me the important thing was always that the team won.
Only?
Yeah. I mean, as a striker, you have to be selfish, but not too selfish. I've been. I think you can ask. I think all my teammates, if I went on a goal and the teammate was next to me, I always passed it to him so he could score. I've seen other examples when players try to score themselves instead of. I mean, the end is about winning a game. Because I remember my last game for Deportivo. At that time, I didn't know it was my last time, and I was up to winning the Golden Boot.
Yeah.
I know. And in that game, the team tried to make me score. Then something like the goalkeeper waiting for me, and I said, play. Just play. They're like we're always doing. Then I will get my chances. If you every time wait for me, it doesn't work. Just play.
Do you, when you watch other strikers, then because we could name the striker whose technique I see you a little bit like was Luis Suarez at his best. I see things about his movement, his timing, his intelligence. He was quite two-footed. But for example, I see you very different from Cristiano Ronaldo. Is a very, very talented man, but very, very keen on scoring and keen on his statistics, which don't read that as a criticism. No, but I see them as two different brains, two different types of men. When you see strikers, either during your career or since your career, do you see anybody that you go, yeah, he's quite like me, or I'm quite like him?
No, I never looked like that.
Ever?
No. I knew my quality. I mean, you like so I don't think so, because I mean, I think I was also quite fast to run in the channels, especially with Deportivo in that time, especially the away games. We tried a little bit more defensive, and then I could use the space behind the defense. But I never looked like that. It's the same as if I work with strikers, if it's now or before. I don't want to say you have to do this because I did it. No, I try to see what their strengths and weaknesses are and try to improve them to become a better Graham or a better, I don't know. No, but I mean...
You'd find that easy.
But I don't want to say I want to make you a copy of the way I played.
No, I mean more.
No, but I don't look at it that way. I mean,
Who do you like watching? Is what I mean. Who do you
I like a lot of watch. I like Lewandowski. I think Benzema the last couple of years. I think in the beginning he was always in the shadow of Ronaldo. He was doing, and then now when Ronaldo made them. He moved to, I think, Juve first.
He went to Juve.
Yeah, but then now all eyes were on Lewandowski. And
on Benzema.
On Benzema. And he's doing brilliant the last couple of years. Because if you see how many goals he scored, I think from the moment Cristiano
every year up.
left, he went scoring more and more. So, but I like several strikers. I mean, Haaland's a complete different striker. I mean, when I was at Feyenoord a couple of years ago, we played a friendly game in pre-season against Salzburg. And he already impressed with 17, 18 years old, big, strong, good technique. So, of course, I still like to see other strikers.
Do you see anything? I'm not looking for revelations here, but did you see anything in Benzema's game that altered, apart from him not having to work for Cristiano, which he did?
Not only work, but I mean, you maybe you know Spanish football better than I do, but I mean, you know, in the Madrid team it was all about Ronaldo,
yes.
as it was in the Barca team, all about Messi.
Yes.
And I mean, I don't say, and Benzema made his goals as well, but not that many. But now, in the moment, like he stepped up his game. Because last year, I mean, I think he won the Ballon d'Or, was the only one, and the year before Lewandowski should have won it, of the year they didn't give it, because he's amazing for a couple of years as well. So, and I like, I mean, the only evolution I see generally is that some teams, I like the classic number 9 in team, and I think Lewandowski is, Benzema is a classic number 9, Giroud, and sometimes now you see teams.
He was a guest on this. On our interview, he's a marvelous man.
No, but I mean, you see as well, now City, they didn't play, I think, the last 2 years with a real number 9. Now with Haaland, they have one again. Maybe I forget a couple of, like Giroud is. You see the countries, I like, even Bayern now this year, they play without. Because they had, I think, the Bayern history, there was always a classic number 9.
Choupo-Moting is surprising everybody, but you don't, or you.
No, but he was always the substitute of Lewandowski.
He was, but nobody can believe.
No, and he's doing. Yeah, but at the beginning of the season he didn't play. I think I know he was injured, and he's doing really well at the moment. But you know what I mean.
I do, and all I wonder.
That's why I think the Nagelsmann in the beginning got the question as well. Okay, Lewandowski's going, but who are you going to bring back?
Bring a 9. Bring a 9.
Because if you see. I mean, I've been part of the strikers of the Bayern history as well. If you see all the names through the years, who has been the striker from, I think, from Gerd Müller, Jean-Pierre Papin, myself, Giovanni Elber, Klinsmann, and I forgot, I think, Riccitelli, McAnally.
Who is the big guy of the '99 final? Shaven head, gigantic.
No, but you had, of course, then after me, you had Luca Toni, Gomez, Mandzukic. Yeah. Lewandowski, so they always had not big, but always had a classic number 9. And now with Lewandowski leaving, I mean, Choupo-Moting, I think he can play in every position. That's why I think they brought him in a couple of years to play in several positions.
In those days, he was a bench player.
Yeah, because Lewandowski he always played.
So when you're making me jump around completely here, but I like it. You mean I'm the centre half, and you can read? Yeah, I knew.
You can skip.
I'm glad we've got that out of the table now. When will we open this? Let's get this open.
Well, I have to drive. So.
But when you're at Bayern, one was Gerd Müller around because
I remember the first time I met him. My transfer took way too long, but
because of Lindoiro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
doesn't matter.
They were shit about that.
No, because I remember, of course after the season there were some contract issues with when I signed there.
They didn't treat you right. And then suddenly when you got the golden boot.
It's not that treating me right. I mean, I came from Tenerife. Of course, I could stay in the Premier Division, but contract more or less same. That if you do well, we're going to discuss again. And then the first year we were champion, I was second. I scored 22, 23 goals in the season, but that doesn't matter. Then when the golden shoe, they wanted to speak, and then I said,
too late.
Too late. I wanted to make, after 4 years with all the success we had, you want to make a step up. And then at the end there were a couple of teams were interested, and Barcelona, Valencia, and Bayern. And then of course I had the conversation with Rummenigge called me. Of course I already knew through my agent that they were interesting, and they were also the ones who wanted to pay.
But it's a good phone call to get when he says,
No, I know, of course.
"Hi, this is Karl-Heinz."
No, I knew, because I mean, my agent said, Rummenigge will call you tomorrow about. No, I already knew they were interested, and then, yeah, you expect when you go back from holiday that it's already done. But so I had to start training again, and then you go in pre-season, and then they don't let you play the friendly games because they're scared to be injured. So I want to play. Yeah.
This is you sitting in Bavaria.
No, I'm no,
Not ready, not
I
able.
was in Spain.
Ah.
It was in the beginning. I was in Spain because I started pre-season.
Yeah.
When the team starts training and you're still.
You're in nowhere.
No, they didn't sell you yet, so you have to train. But then you get the friendly games in pre-season. And yeah, I want to play. No, you can't play because we don't want you get injured. They sell me. And then finally, it was the day of the Teresa Herrera. My agent was in.
Which is for everybody. This is the big tournament.
It's the friendly,
with the biggest trophy in the history of the world.
It's too heavy.
It's the size of a building.
Yeah, but I mean, there were always good opponents for that. So my agent was there, and then he called me. It's done. We leave tomorrow to Bayern. So then you come in Germany, and then you have to, like, my wife went straight away to find schools and a house, and I went for the medical with Müller-Wohlfahrt, and then at the end of the day. Then like I said, the presentation was at 5, and then around 4, my agent goes, "No, there's no presentation." So why? Then you think, no, something. First you think something went wrong in your medical, but I never had injuries or what. And then it was like I think that was the first year from the
after Bosman.
No, not the Bosman. With like 5% for your education, the teams from where you was from 12 to 18.
Okay.
They get an amount for. The way, how do you say
formation.
Your formation. That was the first year,
yeah.
And I think normally like 5%. So the selling club has from the 100 5%, and they said no, we don't pay that. They have to buy.
So that would have been Depor to Vitesse or to.
No, to more. I mean, it's also amateur clubs. I mean,
wow.
One of my from 12 years old, I think, until 18 or 20. But
so
you can find
Bayern money,
formation money,
from
but
Depor to all your formation.
Only if you change from country, because I mean. One of my amateur clubs, they made new dressing rooms, and they asked me,
Fantastic.
When you're in Holland, can you open? For the amateur clubs, I mean, Ian Robben's club, I think, because he changed country. It's only when you change country. If you change clubs within the country, then.
That's for the people back at home. Name the amateur club that got new dressing rooms.
Blauw-Wit was, and I only was there for 1 year. No, but they decided to spend the money in that.
Sensational.
I mean, it's like for every year. It's how it works.
Percentage-wise.
Yeah. So it still is, I think, but only if you change country.
I honestly didn't know.
Because even Vitesse they got the biggest amount.
That's what I thought.
Because I was there from 16 to 22, so they got from the whole.
I'm going to be cruel.
No,
now,
but so
the team that turned you down in Holland.
Yeah, I know.
They didn't get any money, right?
No, but I mean, so that the thing was because then my agents they had to pay 5% for the formation, but then they said no, we don't do that. So that's why. So I was 5 days in the hotel, doing nothing, because I couldn't train. And then I remember one evening, Uli Hoeneß came to the hotel and said, "Tomorrow morning you train." And then I think then I don't know. You have to ask him, but I think there was like a pressure. No, we're going to let him train so the people see he will train, and then finally
get the deal done.
Yeah, my HME, we had to do something as well to fix it. So I said, I want just fix it. I want
you said, look, I'll reduce something in my money.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, but I want to play. So and then the league in Germany already started, because at that time, the Spanish league always started last weekend of August. Or first weekend of September, and in Germany they start 3 weeks earlier. So.
Because of the winter pause.
No, but the German league and the Dutch league always starts early as well. So then, when I came, they already played once, and they had already one league game behind them. Then they went to Hanover, and I wasn't not eligible because of the paperwork. So I had to train with Björn Andersen. He was like the rehab coach. So when you're medical fit, the last part of the team, he said, "No, he's in Munich. You train with him." Okay, because the team is in Hanover. Okay, so I trained, and then afterwards I come back in the building, and there comes a little guy comes in, thin, and I didn't recognize him. And then he brings it.
Grey.
Roy can present. This is Gerd Müller. No, but everybody knows his story, and you see, it's this Gerd Müller, of course. Then you know quickly, when you're there, the story behind it, that he was really down.
He was an alcoholic, and
then
he was in real trouble in life.
And Bayern with Hoeneß up front, they picked him up from there, and they
looked after him.
Yeah, they got him back and within the club, and at that moment he was like an assistant from the second team. So we didn't speak that many times because he was a quite humble and silent.
Physically, what did he look? Because
he didn't look like the bomber everybody knows. But he was.
But even as their bomber,
no, he was okay.
He was a small guy as a striker.
Yeah, he was not that. I mean, but like you see what he went through. That you saw it. But he was really nice. I mean, all the Champions League games he went with us. I mean, not with us, but like with the partners from the team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's traveling Gerd Müller. I mean, he's the biggest striker Bayern has ever had, and probably because I remember we were invited with the team for Beckenbauer's, I don't know if it was his 60th or 65th birthday in a big hotel. And then he said the biggest part of the evening, he said Gerd Müller is doing a speech, what he normally does. And Beckenbauer said, I mean, everybody said about success, all success we had with Germany and with Bayern is because of him, because he scored all the goals.
He was a phenomenon, Roy. I don't know, I forget if you were old enough to see much of him. Certainly not at his very best.
I remember the 74 goal. No, when you play at Bayern, you see goals of them, because every striker who comes in will be compared with him. And I think that's more than, actually it's an honor, because he's, apart from the fact what Lewandowski has done in those years, it's ridiculous the amount of goals he scored, but I think Gerd Müller will always be.
His ability to swivel, his movement, his sharpness, his strength, even though he was small. These things stand out for me. And also, he was. I don't know where the spirit came from, but in those days, neither Bayern or West Germany, as it was when I'm older than much older.
No.
They were never beaten. They were never beaten until the fucking lights were off and everybody's gone home. And even then, they'd score a goal. You never beat them.
But who said it once? Was it not Gary Lineker?
It was a game of 11-11 and then the Germans win.
Yeah, or something like that. No, but until the final whistle is gone. No, but I mean with Gerd Müller, I think he's one of the few from the big countries who scored more goals than he played caps he has for the national team. Yeah. And in that time, with all respect, they only played against the big countries. They didn't play
Lithuania every second week.
I won't mention names, but I think everybody knows what I mean.
What changed in you at Munich? What did they teach you? What did pressure do for you?
No, not pressure. I mean, I think every player wants to see where his bar is. I mean, of course, I was in Deportivo. It was not the biggest club in Spain, but this was, I think, in Spain you had Madrid, Barça, then Atletico, and then you had a couple of clubs below. And I think with Valencia, Deportivo, Real Sociedad in that time, because they had a good season as well.
Yes.
Just below the top clubs, because I mean, I think in Spain only 6 teams in the whole history have become champion in the Spanish league. That's already says enough. I think in other countries you have more teams have been champion, maybe if it's just once, and we conceded it once with Deportivo. But I mean in Bayern, from the day I was there, you feel we need to win. At Deportivo we want to win, but at Bayern we have to be champion. It's not we want to be champion, we have to be champion, and we have to win the cup. And I think the whole club, you felt it in the whole club. If you were like. With the with the people
backroom
behind,
staff.
Over the backroom staff, with all the other people in the offices, everybody,
sponsors, fans.
Yeah, but it's fans as well. But the fans, of course, they want to win. But I mean, the whole club, the ambience was like, we need to win.
You like that?
Yeah. No, but you felt you go into that in that flow straight away. Everything was about Saturday, 3:30.
How much?
3:30, they say here.
How much did it matter? More than the fact they'd studied you, the fact you'd scored that hat-trick against them for Deportivo La Coruña. They never mentioned that.
Of course, I mean, because in my time, I think Wolfgang Dremmler, who was that time one of the scouts, he scouted me. And I think, probably knowing Bayern, they don't sign a player on one game, so they already followed me. No. And I think maybe this was for them I know, because they said, because they wanted also a striker who also runs behind defense. And that was one of my strengths as well, because I was quite fast, to use the space behind defense. So that was one of the qualities. And of course, if you score 4 times against them in 2 games, that maybe gives them the final decision. But
even to this day, you write it in big letters, Deportivo La Coruña 2, Bayern Munich 3-2. You know, for Depor to beat Bayern Munich, even in those days when you went around Europe beating all the big guys,
yeah, but this was what I think,
and to score 3.
But I think this was the first big team we beat away from home. Because I think in that time, I think we were the first Spanish club beating Bayern
in Munich.
In Munich.
I think you're right.
Not even Barca or Madrid has done it before. So that was.
I don't think Barca's ever done it, ever.
No, yeah. Barca, I've seen Barca
Still
playing. I've seen later on Barca beating Bayern in the Allianz Arena. But in that time, I think we were the first Spanish team to beat Bayern in Germany.
I might put a little bet with you on that they never beat Barca. Never beat Bayern. They knocked them out one year.
No, but with Messi they won.
I think they lost.
I think because one time.
We'll do a little afterwards.
You get your bottle back.
I think we could get on.
Yeah,
I like the way you think.
Sure, because I was in the stadium.
I like the way you think. Then okay. Talking about that game.
No, but I mean, it's just like you said about the mentality of we have to win trophies. Because I mean, my first year we were second, and they said, okay, that can happen 1 year. But then then we won 2 years in a row the double with the league and the cup, and then my fourth in the end last year we were fourth in the league, and then they're gonna.
It's a disaster. Everybody out.
No, not everybody out, but they're gonna.
But they bought Klose and.
No, first they had Luca Toni.
Toni.
No, but Santa Cruz he already left to Blackburn.
Rocky went away, yeah.
Pizarro he went. Yeah.
Claudio's
end of contract he went to Chelsea.
Yeah.
And so then in that moment it was they brought Tony and at the end Klose. I was still there and they had Podolski. They bought him the year before.
Poldi.
No, but I didn't have to go. But then I know when I came, Giovanni Elbo was still there. The new one will play. And then you can decide: do I stay here for 1 more year, get my minutes? Because I know the new one's going to play. And then I got quite some offers, but then I thought, now after 10 years abroad, it's time to go home. Because I never mentioned all the clubs. I always said Werder Bremen wanted me. Because I thought, okay, we sell Klose, then we bring him back. No, but I called at that time Klaus Allofs was the sport director.
Another good striker.
And I called him personally to say I can't play for another team in Germany than Bayern. No, he said, I just wanted to say that it's nice that you think of me, but he said no. I said he liked it that I called him personally to say that I wouldn't come to them and why, and he respected that.
We have to go slightly backwards then in that case, because I wanted to do it the other way around. But given that it was with Depor that you won 3-2, and you've talked a little bit about them, what was apart from the talented footballers, how the fuck did a little fishing town of 200,000 people, where it's windy and it's cold and the stadium is a bit rickety?
It was not that cold.
Winter time?
No, it was okay.
Compared to Vitesse, maybe.
No, but I mean, it never was below zero. From the only thing, because I remember when I signed there, because you play for Tenerife,
which was a little bit different.
Yeah, but after 2 years, you've seen the island as well. But I mean, you have to travel. In that time,
brutal.
For every away game, it was either to Barcelona or Madrid, and then connecting flights.
Minimum 2 flights.
Minimum 2 flights, but that's okay. And then, of course, when we relegated, you want to stay in the highest league, and within 2 weeks I already signed for Deportivo because I wanted to go, and they thought we have a young striker, scored quite some goals. Yeah, we can make some money out of it as well. And then they said to me, "Oh, good luck." I said, "Why good luck? It's raining there from September to April." With our first year, I can't say with my family, the weather was okay. But I mean, that's why they say that's why it's also in that part of Spain. The nature is nice.
It's quite beautiful
because it's rain, so it's green everywhere. No, but I loved. I mean, the stadium next to the ocean, next to the sea. I mean, if you walk the Playa de Riazor, because the away team was always in the hotel, the Gran Melia, and you could already see the stadium because you could walk. Yeah, it's like. I think walking was maybe even faster than with the bus towards the game. So, no, but the way the stadium was situated, the pitch was always good.
Yeah.
No, I mean it was, and we were there 4 years. We won everything in 4 years. So that was the first year was incredible because then, in the moment they see that you maybe can become, you win the league. Then for a lot of players, because we had Donato, we had Fran, Mauro Silva. They were 90.
You have to name your roommate as well.
I had a couple once.
Because our last guest in this series was Victor Sanchez.
Yeah. Yeah, at that time you had roommates. Nowadays everybody has his own room.
Much better. Yeah.
No, but I mean, because when I signed for Depor, of course it's nice. You don't only stay in the league, but you're going to play UEFA Cup the first year because I think they ended 5th. Because of course I know all the Brazilians that play there, from Bebeto to Rivaldo, and then they said, I think they wanted to change a little bit the signing structure, more also Spanish players or
people in new La Liga
or foreign players that played in La Liga. That's why they signed me. And at the last moment, Jokanovic, he came also from Tenerife. So that's also because I remember the day. I think the day after we won the league, or straight after the game, we looked at each other. Last year and this time of the year we were relegated, and now we are champion. You can't imagine that one.
Slavica was a nice player.
No, so so Slavica came and was a great player as well.
Yeah.
Nice guy. I mean, then Victor came from Santander, so we had a couple ones with.
Who gave you, of all the players around you in that era, who gave you the best service?
Oh no, I mean I played.
Valerón?
Yeah, but Valerón came later, and the first it was Jalminha. The first year was with Jalminha. I think I've said a lot of times Valerón was maybe the best player I've ever played with.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's. I mean, you know him, but not everybody knows him. But the people who know him know why I say it.
When I was up close with him.
No, but they know why I mean.
He felt like Zidane's size, and he felt like a Spanish Zidane because his vision, his technique, his movement, his sense of taking a risk. And I can manage this. I can send you.
Yeah, but he always when the midfielder or defender thought he has the ball, he just touched it a little bit. And I think he enjoyed even more giving assists than scoring himself. Because sometimes we thought, just score. And then he gave a pass. But with Jalminha, man, there was a genius as well. But he was...
People remember...
No, but he was completely... I mean, maybe in quality, him and Valerón you can compare, but...
With Jalminha, you never quite knew what day it was, what was going to happen.
No, because I remember because but he was brilliant as well. I mean, when he did Madrid... the Rabona from behind the ball, everybody, what the hell is he doing? No, but that was him.
But he was also the guy that people now remember for headbutting.
Yeah, but the story, he did it, but he didn't start it.
What was it?
No, but I mean, I was there on the pitch, so
yeah.
I don't want to go back into it, but everybody was on the pitch, know what happened on the pitch, so.
Oh, yeah?
Still, it was not good what he did, but.
No. What was it?
Knowing him as a player, and some things happened on the pitch, I said, you cannot do it, but that's why...
You can kind of understand.
No, because that's why the week after he played again. I mean, he was on the bench, but he came in.
One punishment forgiven.
Yeah, because the captain said, no. I mean, you have to give him a punishment from with a fine or something, but we want him to stay in the team.
Irureta was famous in this country in the 70s for playing in the Atletico Madrid side, which kicked the shit out of Celtic in the European Cup semi-final.
No, I know.
Maybe
I don't know that.
I
know he was
an
Atletico Madrid player, and he was successful as a player.
And hard. Victor said as a coach, he was clever, but the sessions were repetitive and boring.
Yeah, we knew the whole week.
Everything the same?
Yeah.
How did that work?
No, but I think we had an amazing team. If you see... With Songo, an African, but in the goal he was African. Sometimes you also think, what is he doing? No, but I mean, I remember once he scored a goal, and we still don't know why it was disallowed. Because then they made a foul, and it was funny. No, but we had as a centre back Naibet,
fabulous,
and phenomenal player. So, and then in that time was either Obetsure in Argentina or Donato.
Another great.
Yeah, and then on midfield, we had Mauro Silva, world champion, with Flavio Conceição, also great Brazilian. Who I think after that season he went to Madrid.
Yeah.
And so we had the Brazilian midfield with Jalminha. Then we had two fullbacks with Romero, Manuel Pablo.
Pablo until his injury.
But never got
right back he was.
But Romero as well. They never got tired. And then on the left we had Fran. Yeah.
Fran, who's boy now, plays for Barcelona.
I know, Nico.
But Fran used to
Fran was elegant
pad
player.
around, never touch his boots, never touch the ground.
Nobody
he would
was
float
elegant.
around and make everything happen.
No, and then on the right we had Victor. Then he came from Madrid. He could score. He had pace. He had a good cross. And then on the bench,
was Pandiani with you first year?
No, he came much later.
After.
He came much later. And then there was Paletta.
Yeah,
he was then.
So he was your competition.
Me. Yeah.
And Luque came later?
Yeah, Luque and Tristan came all later. No, but in that time we had Turo Flores, who could play as a striker, he could play as a 10, he could play on the left for
But I
So
still,
we had a quite
it's
with Jokanovic.
It's only quality that made you, because I still want to try to understand about Irureta.
Yeah.
Because if nowadays, you would tell me, everybody would tell you in the coaching badges, if the sessions are repetitive, players will go to sleep or you won't bring the best out of them. But your sessions were repetitive, and yet you won the title, you won the cup, you won the Super Cup. You went all around Europe smashing Arsenal, Juventus, Bayern Munich, Manchester United. It didn't matter who you won at Bernabeu, you won at Camp Nou. I'm trying to understand how that can be, because Irureta must have had talents, because it's not enough to have 14 talented footballers.
No. I think the good is.
How can you?
I think every player knew on his position what to do. But then if you have but the leaders on the pitch, that was there were Nibet in the back, Mauro Silva in midfield, and then of course Fran the captain. I mean, Mauro Silva, he was world champion, and everybody knew. Yeah, he recovered so many balls, and he made sure. And it was quite clear. We had two defenders, two holding midfielders, two offensive fullbacks. Of course, it could change if Fran played on the left or Tourefleur, because Tourefleur was more like a striker. But I mean, I think what I can remember, I think the first year we didn't have that many injuries or suspension. I mean, Jamia got a red card for scoring the 2-1 against Zaragoza, pulling out a shirt, and he missed the Santander game away. But generally, I think the team was great and average. And even with sometimes we play with, I think in Spain they call it trivote. Then they took the number 10 out and they put with Jokanovic.
But which means
with three holding midfielders.
Three defensive organising midfielders in a partnership to make, you're not getting
that's
past us.
That's what he did sometimes in away games, and he put Jokanovic in as well, which was also a fantastic player. But yes, I think it's difficult. I mean, because I think he knew maybe how to manage this team as well. But like Victor said, the trainings were, of course, not every week the same, but generally you already know what you were getting.
He always used to say, Victor also said that in the heading exercises, Victor swears that you would always volley them, and Irureta would shout at you, use your head, and you were like, I'm going to volley them whenever I want to. And then Victor says also, which is class, he said, but in the games, if there was a headed chance, I would always score.
Yeah, I scored, I think, average maybe 5-6 goals a year with the head. No, but I mean, I think as a team we really knew. I mean, like I said, Mauro and I bet they really were in charge on the pitch.
So it was player intelligence that made the difference rather than...
Mauro was amazing.
Yeah? Describe him for our listeners.
No, I don't, I mean, maybe he wasn't loud as a captain, but the way he played, the way he recovered balls, and then of course with Flavio. I mean, I think the combination, if you see in midfield, you have Mauro Silva, World Cup, excellent defensive midfielder, and then you have Flavio, who was like, who go a little bit more box to box, who could score a goal, and then you have Jamia with his
genius.
With his genius, with doing stuff what other people can do, and I think it was all about to get the striker into shooting position. And if it was me, or if I wasn't playing, if it was Pauletta or Tourefleur. And then of course, you have to be honest, you always need that both Barcelona and Madrid have a bad season. I mean, it's honest, but then you have to be there. So I always say at the end of the season, the one who's first is always wins the title, the deserved champion. And especially at home, we were difficult to beat. I can't remember losing at home against Madrid or Barcelona at home.
No. The Riazor rocked when it was full and you were on form. Teams were scared of coming there.
Yeah, but like I said, we never lost against... I mean, in the 4 years I played there, I think in Barcelona, we never lost at home. Madrid away, we were always struggling. Barcelona
away, you won a lot.
The last two, we won, for the 4 times I won twice. The last 2 times with Depor, 2-3 and 2-4.
And often, that was often against a Van Gaal team. And I think you turned down the opportunity from Vitesse to go to Ajax under Van Gaal also?
Yeah, but that was my first year with Vitesse. Then, you get the offer to go to Ajax. He spoke with me, and then, something in my feelings said I want to play every week. Because in that moment it was it was the year that they won the Champions League in '95. But then not for that year, but for the year after, because he said you're young, you can play all 3 positions up front. And but then if it's not about the scared about the competition, but I thought I just played 1 year as a start at Vitesse.
Get more experience.
No, that's what was my feeling. A lot of people said to me, "You're crazy. Turn down Ajax." Yeah, I know. You will never get an opportunity like this again. Yes, that's a risk I take.
But you did.
Had nothing to do with the club, but it's just my feeling said you have to stay at Vitesse.
Before we leave Deportivo La Coruña, because we have to talk about this, Ian Alfontanero, one of our big supporters, asks, did you ever speak to Irureta about, or do you know, why didn't you play in the cup final? Because it doesn't seem, unless you were injured.
No, because I got injured in the Euro.
Yeah.
And then
on the ankle, right?
Yeah. And then that's why they bought Tristan, because I was injured until half of October. And the first year, then he played and he scored, and then it was always him or me. So I remember, I think, so that's why he played. And at that moment it was more that he played more often than I did.
And no problem?
No, of course a problem, because you want to play, especially. But you know how it is, and then sometimes he used me, because Victor knows well, then sometimes he was on the bench and I was playing from the right.
But you helped the team win a little bit, I think. Did Seedorf invite you to come to the Real Madrid celebrations after the final? And before the final, Victor seems to remember.
No, the only thing I know.
Seedorf from Madrid saying, we've got a big celebration.
No, I think the only thing I know, that's what they told me, where we had the dinner after the game, there was the restaurant, I think, where Madrid actually should have but Victor is from Madrid, so. No, it could be, but nobody expected us to win that game. It was in Madrid, in Bernabeu, the day of the Centenario, so nobody expected us to win.
Your fans were brilliant and noisy.
No, but I mean, it's...
Singing happy birthday to...
Yeah, but everything was speaking for them. I think it was the first time, because I think they made a request to have the final
to
on
move
that
the final
day.
to Bernabeu, on that day.
And also on that day.
Because it's their 100th birthday.
Yeah. No, that's something, of course, I mean, if you don't play, I think I scored a couple of goals as well, I think in the semi-final as well to reach the final, but of course you want to play the final as well, but at the end, not maybe on pitch, you're a part of the history, because it's history, winning on that special day in Bernabeu, with nobody expected it. It's
maybe the sweetest kind of win, isn't it?
Oh no, I mean, reaching
to win.
No, but I said reaching finals is already nice. I mean, like in Holland, it's always the final is always in the Kuip. Of course, here it's always Hampden Park. You have Wembley. In Germany, it's always in Berlin, and in Spain is every year somewhere else.
Everywhere.
No, but I mean, every country has its own way of dealing with those things. So, but I mean, I was happy with every prize I won. I mean, of course, the most special one is the championship with Deportivo, because until now it's the only time in the history of the club.
Complete history. Let's finish, Roy, with a couple of subjects. We talked a little bit about your ankle. I'm sorry to mention it's such a sad moment. It happened like a fluke in training in the semi-final, right?
2 days before the semi-final.
2 days before the semi-final.
Instead of maybe coming in, I was lying in a hospital next to the stadium. I just requested, can I have
happened?
No, because I was in training. I had a sprint duel and I wanted to cross, and my other, the one on the ground, it was wrong position.
Did the studs get caught? Or?
No, I don't know. I was like this, and I turned that way, and you feel straight away that you're hurt, and then you just try, and you couldn't stand on it.
But there was a momentum there where you genuinely could have believed we're going to win this tournament.
No, but I think I came in against France the last game. I came in and... Because of course I just came back from winning the Spanish titles. I was in form and I knew my place. I was the number 2 behind Kluivert, and then you had Bergkamp as the number 10. So I had my minutes, and then of course you can play a role maybe in the semi-final as well. In the end, of course, when you see that it went towards penalties, you think, oh fuck, I would have. Oh sorry, I would have taken one as well.
I'd have scored.
No, but I would have taken one as well. But I remember, because I went to the hospital. Of course, the physio checked me. Go to the hospital to Amsterdam, and then the doctor said, okay, already after one test, I already know we're going to surgery straight away.
Immediately.
Yeah, but then the only thing was, then in the end, there was like an emergency call came in between. So no, I said we're gonna do the surgery tomorrow morning. So it was the day of the game. So then I know, because before the team came to Amsterdam, Rijkaard, he came to the hospital, the national coach, and I just remember, because I was in the hospital next to him, I said, please don't give me a room where I can see the stadium.
It hurt that much. It was
Yeah,
so
no,
sore.
I watched it. They reserved a special room for me so I could watch with my family. I could watch the game, but
What was
but
it?
then you think, shit, penalties. Probably I would have been on the pitch in that moment. I could have been one of the 5 taking it.
What happens with Dutch footballers in penalties? 98 semi-final. This final, Frank misses, Jaap misses,
Yeah, there were more. No, but
Bosveld misses.
yeah. No, that was history. And 2004.
Again, also.
We won.
Yeah.
We won against Sweden
But
in
if
the
you-
quarterfinals.
But if you look at the penalties, it's one of those
No, but
shootouts
that's-
where not everybody
No, but-
scores. There's a lot of misses.
No, in 2004 was only we had 1 miss, Cocu. No, but I mean, I think it was not only there. I think it was it 96 the Euro in England where
Yeah.
Holland lost against France. I think also with penalties.
Penalties.
This was something like that, and then we came to Euro 2004 in Sweden. It ended 0-0, and it came to penalties. And I know the day before we had more or less like 1, 3, and 5 should be penalty takers, and then it was like actually it was the plan if the subs were possible that Van Nistelrooy would be 1, I would be 3, and Van Hooijdonk would be 5, but Van Hooijdonk wasn't on the pitch because I think we had the injury in the first half. Then that changes for the coach the way of putting subs on. So I said I'll take 5 because I like to take the 5 position as well. I remember because the first Swedish player I think he missed. I think it was Ibrahimovic who missed the first penalty. And then we scored 3 in a row, and then Cocu misses, and then the Swedish player before me he scores, and then that's the only. Because I took a moment for myself because I said they started, so that's the only thing I think. Oh, if I miss now, we're out. And then I switched that off. I know my wife, she couldn't look on the stands because she thought, oh.
Kallstrom scores, Van Nistelrooy scores, Larsson scores, Heitinga scores.
Yeah.
Zlatan misses. Your
Yeah,
memory
yeah,
is very,
no.
very good. Reisiger scores, Ljungberg scores,
Cocu
misses, Wilhelmsen scores,
Yeah, so
and it's you.
Yeah, so I knew. But for me, it was just a small, short moment. Just relax, and do your routine as you always did with the penalty. And I did. And then my wife said, "Oh, she was really on the stands. Oh, why Roy now the 5th?" No, but then I made it, and I think Melberg missed, and then Robin was the number 6.
You're good. You're very
know.
good.
No, but I mean, there's a lot of people think that Robin was the 5th, but he was the 6th.
Why did you like 5th? You know,
I was the penalty taker in my club as well. But I always respected the order when I came to a club. Because at Vitesse I took a couple. And then at Tenerife we didn't get that many. And I think I just had 1 and I missed. And it was my first time come now. We lost 4-1. I scored a goal and then injury time I hit the crossbar with a penalty. And then at Deportivo we had Jalminha. We're doing his Panenkas. And so, I mean, I think you always have to respect the order. And then the 3rd year, then Tristan, because he was going for Pichichi in Spain, then they let him take the penalty, and then in the last year, I was going up to it, and then they said, okay, then Roy takes the penalty, and I missed 1 as well in that year, in the derby in Celta, so that was not nice, but no, at the end, it was with 3-0 behind, so then, of course, you never want to miss.
It's not as
And then when I
important.
came to Bayern, it was the same. It was the same with. When I came, Ballack was the penalty taker.
Michael Ballack was the
and then
taker.
Otmar Hitzfeld asked me, "Are you taking penalties?" Yeah, of course, but he takes them, no problem. And then I think he misses 1 or 2 in a row, and then
Yeah.
Hitzfeld said,
He'd also missed one famously for Leverkusen to lose the title.
"Yeah,
That
but that was
the
before
top
me."
season, yeah. But
So then he said after I think he missed once or twice, and Hitzfeld, Roy's taking the penalties from now on.
But in a shootout, like for example,
I was-
everybody used to criticize Cristiano for saying, I'm going 5th. And they used to shit on him saying, that's only ego. But I never saw it that way because if you go to 5,
Yeah.
it's not just that you're the clever guy, you have to score it. There's massive pressure.
It can go both ways.
Yeah.
Because I mean, in the Sweden, if I would have missed it, we would have been out. That's nothing to do with ego. I mean, I never had pressure in the penalties. I mean,
What was your technique?
No, but I said if you're afraid to miss, then don't take it. It's part of taking penalty. You can miss.
Did you
No.
did you think of it as fun?
Fun not, but when I think at Bayern at one moment and later on with Feyenoord, everybody knew when it's a penalty, Roy's going to take it. So here's the ball, take it. No, but I mean, it's something. I mean, and I never train on it. But I don't say you don't have to train it. But I think everybody has his own way of taking a penalty.
But you didn't practice?
No, and I didn't take them in friendly games either. I just took them in the official games. No, but
I'm sorry, I've got to let you
know.
know.
No, people don't. They don't think this
practice.
No, but because I don't know. This is the way. That's why I want to say straight away that don't think that I think that this is the only way.
I know.
Everybody has his. Because I looked at the goalkeeper. That was my routine, and another player has his routine. So
you're quite happy with how you struck the ball, right-footed always.
Yeah.
You never confused them by changing feet for elf meter.
No.
And you looked at the keeper to judge his movement?
Yeah.
Or his balance, or?
No, yeah. Of course, I had like a backup plan. If I didn't get the feeling where he's going to dive to the left, right, then I knew where to shoot. But that happened not that many times.
You never panenkaed?
No. That's too much risk for me. No, but
I didn't expect to get that answer from you.
No, but for Jamia, I know Jamia did it a lot of times, except when we played Galatasaray, because I think with Galatasaray, it was Tafarel in the goalkeeper, Brazilian goalkeeper, and he thought, no, with the Brazilian goalkeeper, he knows I'm going to do that, so I won't do it. No, but I mean, everybody has his own way. Because I know here with Tef, the captain, he takes the day before the game. He likes to practice penalties, so everybody has to stick to his routine.
When we're closing, two things. We're approaching a tournament. We've talked about Holland in tournaments before. How do you like at the moment Holland's group, and do you think somebody in the KNVB phoned FIFA? Because you've got Senegal, Ecuador, and Qatar in your group. I mean, come on.
It could have been worse. No, but I mean, that's with the draw, but the same. But it's the same with. If you look now again, the draw for the Champions League. You have PSG, Bayern, you have Liverpool, Madrid, Man United, Barcelona, and then you see other head-to-head. Where you think, but
you're reasonably.
No, but I think I think Senegal has a really good team.
Yes.
Not only with Mané, because I think they were current
African Cup of Nations champions.
It's not that easy. And the only thing, Qatar, nobody knows.
But you wouldn't like to be Spain in the group with Japan and Germany and Costa Rica, for example. Costa Rica like a wall, Japan clever and very urgent, Germany.
But the only thing is, I don't know, because I haven't looked into that far, but I know the only thing is that Holland, in case they end up second, they can get France already in the second round. So it's
so finish first.
I don't know how it goes from there on, but I mean, look to the Champions League draw this year. If you see the group, you had one group with Barca, Bayern, and Inter.
Yeah.
And then if you're the fourth one in the group, you think, why? Or you can see two ways, but it's always you have like the group of that and
the one where PSG don't do their business, so they finish second, so they draw Bayern.
Yeah,
you have to do your business.
Yeah, nobody could expect that. I mean, I thought why, and then I explained because they ended up, how many times that happened in football, because you had in the Europa League in a group of final that all four teams end with 8 points. Yeah. I think that has never happened. No. And with PSG and Benfica, same points, head to head is the same, goal average, the same amount of goals made and conceded. Then I think because Benfica scored more away goals.
That's right, away goals. You have to be a mathematician.
Yeah, I heard the explanation later on, so you can't imagine it, because I think Benfica scored 3 times in the last 6 minutes.
Away in Israel.
Yeah, so no, but that happens. But that's football. In the end, they always say if you want to win the Champions League, you have to beat everybody.
Ditto the World Cup. So let's imagine, because neither you nor I were being rude about Senegal, Ecuador, or Qatar.
No, but I mean,
it's a good group. It's a good group.
Senegal is a good group. Qatar, I think nobody knows, because I read yesterday. I think I read an article. I don't know if it was in Dutch or somewhere else, that they have played friendly games, but nobody knows.
I think we know. I've been out there.
No, you know, but I mean,
I think we know.
Because there's no footage from it, but...
Who's the guy we're going to talk about that inspires the Naranja to glory? Danjuma, Luc de Jong. I like watching Luc de Jong.
No, but I mean, first we're too early, because the squad will be this. They will give the squad on Friday.
Okay, so in the squad is going to be Luc de Jong. And the squad is going to be Depay, because he's fit now. If
he's fit,
Danjuma's playing, I'm asking about the players, what you think of them. Xavi Simons is having an exceptional season
Yes,
for a kid.
Great talent.
At PSV. Bergwijn, with Van Gaal as a coach. Who do you like there? Who are the guys?
No, the thing is, it's really difficult to predict because it's already new that you can take 26 players because it looks like every tournament is getting more. More. But no, so that's because in Holland all the programs are discussing as well. Who is he going to take?
But who do you appreciate? From
but I mean Depay. I mean for the national team, he showed how important it is, and hopefully he is fit. I mean we don't know. I mean if he's fit, but he hasn't played for.
Xavi said yesterday.
No, but I mean he hasn't played for a couple of months, so you don't know how his rhythm is. Normally you like a game to see if you're fit.
I'm willing to estimate that he's been careful about not playing for Barcelona.
No, but I mean...
So he's ready and he's in the squad.
No, but if he's fit...
my guess.
No, but if he's fit, he will play.
Yeah.
Because he's done so well for Holland. And I mean, I think for having the young, especially the form he is now in again, as a pinch hitter, he's perfect to come
nice
in.
Phrase.
But that's
potentially Luke you see as a guy to close out games in the last 20 minutes.
I think so, because I mean normally he plays with Depay or he played before with Bergwijn.
Yeah.
Because now they play with two strikers, so it's always Depay with. It can be Gakpo as well, the winger from PSV, but that's a little bit different. It can be Malen from Dortmund. Yeah. So that's why everybody in Holland is thinking, which strikers? I mean, everybody knows that. Probably Bergwijn will go, Depay will go, and then the question is he taking Vincent Janssen from who's playing in Belgium now? Is he taking Xavi Simons?
He had such a terrible time. He went to Spurs, right?
Yeah, and then he went to Mexico.
It just didn't happen.
No, but I mean, so in Holland they really like
big debate.
No, not the debate, but because Van Gaal, who is he taking? Who is he leaving home? I think I'm not the national coach. I would take always if Luc de Jong is fit, I would take him because he has. With his quality, with the heading, and
but he's got a good brain. He's never the fastest.
No, but I think
30 goals.
Then he probably will know his role
to
come in when it's necessary, and you have to change the style maybe of playing. I mean, I think Xavi Simons is an amazing talent if you see the way he's playing the last couple of weeks.
And he's also changed. Like he's now so strong in getting away.
No, he's playing really well. So, But we have, I mean, Dutchman, I think he's doing quite well at Villarreal.
Nice and quick.
Yeah, so that's a question.
Style of play.
No, what Van Gaal wants to take, because I mean, Dutchman is more. I mean, of course, on the Emery they play also 4-4-2, but 4-4-2 quite defensive. Mm-hmm. And but when he signed for Villarreal, they signed him more as a left winger.
Left wing, yeah.
So, but he's doing really. The progress he had in his career is really great as well.
Is it incredible to think that maybe this is the time that Holland wins its World Cup?
I don't know.
Is that a stupid thing to think?
I think they're better teams.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, if you see in the back when you have Van Dijk, I mean, I don't know who's going to play, but you have the centre back, you have Van Dijk, you have Stefan de Vrij, you have De Ligt.
De Ligt's playing nicely right now.
You have Ake who's doing, I think, really well at City.
He's been taught well, hasn't he? He's developed as a footballer.
Yeah, and I know him from a long time when I was in the Feyenoord Academy. He was from the Feyenoord Academy, then he went, at 16 years old, he went to
Football's
Chelsea.
Also so fucking strange.
No, but I mean...
Last season he was working for your coach at Tenerife.
Who?
Juan Malillo.
Yeah, I spoke to him.
Football's so mental.
Because I remember one day that Nathan Ake, he sent me a text message. He said, yeah.
Who is this crazy scientist?
No, he said one of the assistants is asking if he can have your number because you worked with him. And then I said, what's his name? Because I didn't know at that time. He said, Juan Malillo. Yeah, so you give my number. He was my former coach. And then he was, huh?
I tell you why you didn't score penalties at Tenerife, because Juan Malillo would have asked you to pass it three times before they scored.
He was a great. I didn't have him that long time.
Crazy scientist.
No, but he was really good.
He's clever, but wow.
No, but that's why I know. I already knew that in that time he was like from that Marcelo Bielsa, Guardiola, him. They all thought more or less the same. Maybe I forget one or two. They all thought the same way about football.
100%.
No, but I liked him as a coach. We had a really good relationship, and we texted a couple of times when he was sitting. And then I heard he left. To be coach on himself, I think the Middle East.
He did go Middle East. He had some family things he needed to move to change life.
No, but I mean, so
hopefully he's happy.
In summer, I saw Nathan because we were in training camp in Portugal, and he was there on holiday with Virgil van Dijk, and then they trained once in the morning before us. So then we spoke a little bit about him. No, but I know so that that moment when I heard he was assistant from Guardiola, it didn't surprise me. Because I think they think
identical almost.
Quite identical about football. So I had to laugh sometimes, of course, when the cameras go to the bench and then they score the goal and he saw him all sitting like no,
that's my Tenerife guy.
Yeah, no, but he was a really good coach, although I had him just for a couple of months.
I remember. So there's Holland. There are better teams, but who knows? The last question is...
I mean, I think Holland has a good team, but then they're not the favorite.
No.
If I see, I mean, I think France has a great squad. Brazil, Argentina, I don't know who's fit and who's injured.
I know.
They're doing quite well. I think they're
36 maybe.
But when the tournament starts, that doesn't count anymore. But it gives already a sign that they found
a system which suits Messi, a coach.
No, but not only Messi, because of course everybody
that's
knows
quite
Messi.
Important.
No, but it's very important. But if you see what they have, if Lautaro Martinez, I think is an amazing striker. Di Maria and Messi have a click together as well. Then in midfield with Paredes, De Paul.
You can see Lo Celso in there. You can see Lamela in there. De Paul from Atleti.
Yeah, then
the quality is there.
No, so the goalkeeper, who's at Villa?
Martinez.
Another
guest in the series with you.
No, but Otamendi in the back, so they have a mix of experience, but also with young players. And I don't know if Dybala's going to make it. I don't think so.
Don't think he's going to be.
No,
fit.
But I mean, so that already said. Of course, it's all about Messi, but it's not. It's not only Messi.
No, I mean,
sounds strange the way I say it.
The system has to be that.
I think after a couple of now, I think they found the way. That it's about Messi, but not only about Messi.
Nicely said, Roy. Yeah, exactly.
Because you already saw when they won a Copa America, you really saw.
Well, hold on, did you watch the final?
Yeah, but the emotion. The emotion from not only from everybody.
But that was like 1974 in Italy again. It was just kick fuck out of Neymar. Hope the referee doesn't notice. Argentina went into that game as if our lives depend on it, and they played zero football.
Yeah, but I've seen more. That doesn't matter, but at the end, I mean, how many finals are nice to watch generally?
Too few.
Yeah, because it's...
What about 2010? Did Holland play the right way in 2010 under Van Marwijk against Spain?
They should have won it.
Because?
I mean...
Robin,
the 1-against-1 with Casillas.
You ever seen a more crazy save in your life? With his toe diving the wrong way.
I've seen more safe, but I mean, of course, everybody in Holland calls it the toe of Casillas. No, but I mean, Holland was really close. I think for Marek, I speak far back. You should have asked the captain. He was here before.
I saw him on the night and the day before.
No, but I mean,
in the final.
I think Holland. I think for Marwijk, because I had him for sure what period at Feyenoord. I think he really just what are the strengths and the weaknesses of this team. I'm going to set up, but also always the two holding midfielder with Van Bommel and De Jong, and then a lot of creativity up front. I mean, because if I think was it the game against Brazil was the quarterfinal, because the first half they had
no ball.
No, they were. And then I don't know what, because I mean that you should ask Gio, but then the second half was a complete different game. And of course, and it's the final is like
there was a little bit too much. They thought they could bully Spain out of the game because Holland could play.
I watched it at home as a fan, so
sad.
Of course, because I mean I was texting Gio after almost every game, because I still remember what I texted him after the goal against Uruguay.
What the fucking goal?
No, but I know what I texted him.
Go on.
Because I said the goalkeeper can dive whatever he wants, but he won't make it. Because when we played together at Feyenoord, we had like shooting drills, and then we also said when we shot, you can dive whatever you want, you won't make it. So that was the only thing I texted him.
It's such
of course, congratulations, but just this sentence, and he had to laugh about it.
A beautiful goal.
No, but I mean, of course, they were so close. But it's in the end.
Millimeters, but you said how many finals are good to watch, and many people say, okay, that was such a beautiful final to watch.
If you look at finals in Europe as well, how many good Champions League finals
now, in my opinion, now more. But again, I'm older than you. European Cup finals before were shit.
Yeah, but the last couple, I mean,
Champions League finals are generally quite good.
Depending.
Sometimes they go too far.
I remember, of course, when Bayern played PSG, PSG at that time played quite attacking. Until the final.
Yeah.
Because then they thought probably against Bayern we hold, and they got their counter attacks.
Yeah.
But they were more
I didn't enjoy it.
No, but I mean, Bayern played the same way as
Was
they
that-
did the whole.
Was that Tuchel's PSG? No, I made a mistake.
No, it was one other goal from Coman. It was where they had the final four in Portugal.
Bayern PSG.
PSG, Paris was in. I think was it in Portugal when they had the final four because of the
Okay.
COVID was
The
without.
Nations League.
No, with Bayern Munich, the Champions League final.
Then Bayern played
Paris.
Saint-Germain.
Yeah, was the final was in.
Then, but the goal is I heard Koeman.
Coman, Kingsley Coman. Sorry.
Kingsley. I understand. I heard wrong.
No, but I
sorry.
saw because I think it was the year that Bayern
beat 8 on Barca.
and then in the semi-final I can't remember who they beat. Was it?
No, maybe Barca was the semi-final.
Barca was the semi-final
yeah.
and the final, but there was
PSG.
the final four in Portugal.
Correct, because of the.
And then the final, because PSG was quite offensive as well.
It wasn't a beautiful final.
And then in the final, they were more counter-attacking with Neymar, Mbappé, of course, and they got a couple of chances. And Bayern played that year. The way Bayern played was so nice to watch.
It was a treble.
Yeah, no, but also the way they played in Champions League. Because I think that year they scored 8 against Barca. They won, I think 1-7 in Spurs away.
Yeah.
So they were nice to watch.
As an ambassador.
And at the end, it's all about winning. So if you win a bad final, in the end of the year, nobody knows.
As an ambassador, nice for you. Tell me to finish about the friendship with Gio, what's brought you here, and what it's like being a coach for Cholak and Morelos, two guys so different in personality, structure, and the process of what you do. But you're here, it's a big club. Maybe you'd have been tempted anyway, but you're here partly because of a relationship, a professional relationship, a friendship with Gio. Tell me about your tasks and how you tried to achieve.
No, of course.
Yeah, you won the title at Feyenoord.
But I mean, we played together in the under 21 in Holland, then national team a couple of times. And then afterwards, of course, I was at Bayern and Gio was at Barcelona. And then the moment I decided to go back to Holland, then Gio called me and Van Marwijk called me. Was about, do you want to come back to Feyenoord? And the end was more like, Bayern. After I said to Bayern, I want to go home to Holland. They reduced the.
They helped.
No, not help, but like I said, they could get maybe double or triple the money from other countries. But I said I want to go home, and then they said okay. Of course, they got.
That's good.
They got a fee, of course, but they could have got more from other clubs. And then Gio said, and Gio, I think he had a clause with Barcelona that he could go for free, but only to Feyenoord back. And so that's why it started. And our families are really going well. Our sons played a long time together at the amateur department of Feyenoord, so it was really nice. And after we retired, I mean, we retired same year. The only thing
he didn't finish with a hat trick.
No, but he finished in a World Cup final, so that's different. It's the way how you want to see it.
I'm going with the hat trick.
No, and then we went doing our trainer courses. I mean, we did different ones. I started at the Feyenoord Youth Academy, and Gio was starting with the first team already as an assistant. And then I remember from the moment, then Ronald Koeman was already the coach, and then he asked me if I could come every Friday to work a little bit with the strikers. That time was Graziano Pelle, for example. I could combine that with my task as a youth coach. And then when Gio became head coach, he asked me if I could join the first team staff as a striker coach. And the only thing at that time I was 1 day a week. Mm-hmm. Every Thursday I still went. I was there the whole week apart from the Thursdays. Then I was at the youth academy to train the individual training with the under 19 strikers, under 17 strikers.
I'm willing to bet you scored more goals in training than Graziano Pelle did.
No, I don't have to shoot anymore. That's what they do. No, but that's the way it came. And then, your first team staff member. I mean, I was never on the bench at that time, so I was a lot of times when we played the game, I was watching rivals, opponent analysis.
Yeah.
And not only me, but we did it with the whole staff. So. Yeah, and then of course, when Gio left Feyenoord, I stayed with Stam, and then when Stam stopped, the whole backroom staff had to go. Okay, that's okay. So then from that moment, I did quite some ambassador work for Bayern Munich, a lot with games. You know how it works. Yeah. They use former players to speak with partners, with guests about the game, and it was nice job to promote the club around the world, because I still remember. I had a trip planned to China to go there for a week, because there's a quite big fan base there as well. But then 2 weeks before I would go, COVID came, so we canceled that trip, and then Gio was in China, and then you came back. Of course, you don't speak. Of course, when in China, especially with being there by himself, not himself, but without families, I think it's not easy.
No.
So I was doing my things. I was doing sometimes like a pundit in Dutch television, not every week, but once every 2-3 weeks, and that was. I don't want to be on the television every week, but that was nice to do, because I mean you're still watching games, speaking about it, and was
feels a small bit.
Yeah, sometimes
involved.
I was in the beginning. I did it for Ziggo, especially the Spanish football, because you play there, so you can. And then I did a couple of Dutch games, and then of course the news came that Gerrard was leaving Rangers for Villa, and a couple of days later I got a phone call that probably I'm going to be the manager of Rangers. I want to take. Do you want to join me? So then I think the day after I went to his house with my wife. To know. Okay, but what do you want me to do? Mm-hmm. And I think 3 days later we were here.
What and when you're
but so then my task like my first team coach, helping him on the pitch, and of course try to give some extra attention on the striker where possible, because I mean with the schedule we have every 2 days.
It's all about recuperation.
Yeah,
there's actually not a lot of time to coach.
No, but also for me to do some extra work with the striker is not easy.
No,
because I mean if you play on Saturday and you play on Wednesday again, it's just recover, get fresh, and play again. So that's why last week when you have like before St. John's you have a couple of days extra, then you can say now you three we're going to do it. Of course, you have to also see it in the load of the training, but that's what you do to try. And I mean sometimes we have like in the beginning of the season we had the striker from the youth, Robbie Ewer, with him. Of course, it's nice to look a little bit at the youth player, and I've seen him playing a couple of times with the Youth Champions League, and then when he trains with us, we can discuss a little bit what he thinks or what I saw in the game.
Fantastic.
So, but it's different. Working with these, and a lot of times now it's more towards the game, where you can help them where like weaknesses are from opponents
in a specific match.
Yeah. Of course, with the short time we have, it's more.
And what specific talents does Čolak and Morelos have in your analysis?
No, but I think they. Luckily Alfredo was injured for a couple of months last year, and we missed him. I mean, at the end of the season, I think that's. Was
Hadji not out almost at the same time?
Yeah, but Janus was more like a right wing.
Wide player, but you lose two creative guys at the same time, more or less.
Yeah, but Janus was already gone before, because I think it was just after the January in the cup game. Very unfortunately, the way. But those things happen in football, and then, of course, we had already Kamar Roof was injured, and then Alfredo got injured as well. And that's of course, and he was really, I think, in a great moment where he got injured, scored a lot of important goals in the league, but also in our European run last year when he scored in Dortmund. He scored I think at home as well. So not only those games, and then at the end we had to put Joe Aribo up front, and he did quite well.
Very well.
No, but I mean, sometimes you have to put players on position because
find solutions.
Find solutions is not easy, because we had quite some problems. And then Alfredo was out for 4 or 5 months, and that's And then Kamar Roof was out as well. We just got him fit to be a small part in the Europa League final last year when he came in and he scored a penalty. No, but it was. You see how much problem. So this year we got Antonio, also a really nice guy. So I can keep my Spanish with Morelos and my German with Čolak. So for my language, no, but I think they're two completely different strikers.
And you're happy enough to be here. Do you remember days? When was the first time anybody mentioned the name of Rangers and Ibrox to you back as a player? Newman or?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean,
they used to tell you tales of.
I know the whole. Not the whole history, but. Probably all the Dutch ones who played here, the Ronald de Boer, Michael Mols, Fernando Rixen, which I played with him in the 21s as well. And I remember we had, the Gio was there as well. We had like a testimonial in Holland, Fortuna Sittard, the team I was against a mix of players, and I was one of those. So it was already hard to see. And that day he was okay.
So.
But then you saw, of course.
It was cruel. It was a cruel.
Yeah.
thing.
So and of course Dick Advocaat, he was very successful at the club as well. Of course, I know Gio played here.
So the word reached you
this
back
was
then.
just no, but of course. I mean, the first thing when they came in, have you ever played here in this stadium? So no, and then I just played in the other stadium once with Bayern in the Champions League.
The other stadium.
Yeah, that's the way they said it.
It's like Ajax and Feyenoord, all the same over, just transported to here, right?
Yeah.
It's the same.
No, but that was funny as well, of course. And yeah, you feel straight away the rivalry. You're for that. You have only two choices here actually. No, but I mean I played Deportivo Celta. It's also
people don't understand here, but it's pretty fierce that. Too.
Yeah, and Vitesse and Nijmegen. There's always, especially when you come from Nijmegen and you play for the other team.
You have to prove that you're.
But I mean those derbies are brilliant. But I mean, last year the semi-final in the cup. That's then I really got the old firm with the 50-50. It was.
It had an impact on you.
No, of course, when you win, it helps even more. But the 50-50 was like a staircase with some police officers on that side of the Celtic fence, and it's not like they leave a whole, how do you say?
A gap.
A whole gap. No, it was just like a staircase, and then the start. It was amazing. Of course, when you win it makes a little bit more. But
and in those particularly, never mind this season. Particularly those remarkable European nights last season, when sometimes it looked just out of reach and then it wasn't. How does the noise and the fervour and the roar compare to some of your experience? I guess it has to be up there.
No, I remember that because my wife, I think she saw almost all the European games. I mean, she comes, I think, like most of the back and forth from Holland.
Yeah.
And after the semi-final against Leipzig, she said to me, "Were you crying on the pitch?" No, but I mean, the emotion you felt on the pitch. What was coming from the stands, it was like some people said this was like the people felt where they were 10 years ago. Yeah, for me, I think everybody knows what happened here, and then 10 years later, you're in the Europa League final. Everybody said that was impossible, and the atmosphere after the final whistle. I mean, the day we won the championship with Feyenoord as well. The atmosphere was electric, but this was the same as that moment was. I think you can only explain to people, they know what you mean, the ones who were in the stadium. It was a magical evening. And that's what you work for.
That's why you're here. Yeah. Roy, I say now, on behalf of all our listeners, you gave us magic. Talking about magic, you gave us magic with your boots. It was fantastic watching you. There haven't been so many interviews recently where the interview's been so much smarter than me and made me laugh so much. So,
you had to change your order.
Yeah, no, I'm closing that now. I didn't know also that you were so good at reading upside down. That's a real skill. Yeah. That's sort of MI5.
That's advantage when you speak different languages.
Roy Makaay, you're a genius. This has been fantastic. Thank you for welcoming us to your training ground. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Good luck for Holland in Qatar. Enjoy
I will watch it in all quiet. They're probably here. We start training already.
Yeah, there's no
I wanted to
stopping.
say at home, but
take a couple of weeks. Roy Makaay from the big interview. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
You're a genius.
Thank you.